Private pickleball facility adjacent to the villages are going to open later this year. Public hearing set this week on notorious hoarding case in the villages. 73-year-old villager gets stiff jail term after violating a DUI probation. More housing developments coming to County Road 462. A villager with a revoked New York driver's license arrested after caught driving a Mercedes. Notorious hoarder allegedly drained his mother's bank account to buy drugs. The annexation of 24-acre pasture links development from 466 to Lake Ella Road. A recent intimidation case prompts residents to reconsider providing names. 14-year-old girl allegedly molested at Waterfront Inn in the villages. How many holes in ones of golf did we get this week? Letters to the editor. This and more coming up. This week's news is brought to you by my YouTube and Patreon members. Let's have some more news. I'm going to do some updates and get them out of the way for you as soon as possible. A villager has entered a plea in a golf cart drunk driving crash that injured two of her passengers. Julianne Marie Jenny, 60, of the village of Lake Denham, pleaded not guilty this past week in Sumter County Court on 2 counts of driving under the influence with injury to a person. She has retained an attorney, Christina Headley, for legal representation. Janie remains free on a $4,000 bond. That's her update. Here's an update on the hoarder case. A public hearing is set this week on the notorious hoarding case in the villages. Barbara Packard, owner of the home at 1889 Blythewood Loop in the village of Sunset Point, will be called at 8 a.m. Friday before the Community Development District 5 Board of Supervisors at Seabreeze Rec Center. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Here's an update on, I think, a DUI case. The 73-year-old villager has been given a stiff jail term after violating her probation on a charge of driving under the influence. Kathy Ann Oldham of the village of Hawkins was sentenced this past week to 89 days in jail during a probation violation hearing in Sumter County Court. Oldham has been held in jail since February 1 following her arrest on the probation violation. She was placed on probation last year after pleading no contest to a charge of driving under the influence. She lost her driver's license for 6 months and was ordered to perform 80 hours of community service. However, Oldham failed to show proof that she had completed a DUI school and that she had completed 80 hours of community service. She had the opportunity to buy out of the community service at the rate of $10 per hour, or a total of $800. Well, off to jail you go. Here's another update. One of our local attorneys that got arrested for something at Wawa, can't remember now. An attorney arrested last month after an incident at Wawa has entered a plea in his disorderly intoxication arrest. Prevish Bobby Ramallah, 54, an Ocala criminal defense attorney, has pleaded not guilty in Sumter County Court. He remains free on a $150 bond. He was arrested February 23rd at the Wawa on US 301 in Oxford. It's right up there on the edge of the villages. And let's get to some new news. The Pickleball Club recently announced construction is underway for its Village Park Center Club and is projected to open this fall 2024. Located at Northeast 62nd Terrace in the villages on a 4.7 acre parcel, the 40,000 square foot climate controlled club will feature 16 indoor pickleball courts, 162 parking spaces, players' courtyard with 2 covered outdoor courts, and 2 bocce ball courts. Inside, a 3,667 square foot players' lounge and mezzanine will overlook the downstairs courts. Dink's Pro Shop and Pickles Cafe, similar to its other facilities. The site is located near the Hampton Inn on County Road 466. A pickleball club, a firm founded in 2019, develops and operates private membership-based high-amenity indoor pickleball facilities throughout Florida. Currently on site, the north and south interior court slabs have been poured, site utilities have been installed, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing installations is occurring in the center sections of the building pad. The transformer is set and the metal building is now on site. Over the next few months, the first lift of asphalt will occur. The center slab will be poured. Mobilization and elevation of the metal building will happen, and temporary power will be energized. The pickleball club's first location is now open and operating in Sarasota near Lakewood Ranch. Too much success. Well, there you go, all you pickleball enthusiasts out there. If the pickleball courts here in Florida tend to be a problem, like a lot of things for me is a problem, I can't be in the sun anymore. You got indoor pickleball courts here. So I think that's a good thing myself. I wish we had some indoor swimming pools here. 3 more Wildwood development projects are slated for the County Road 462 corridor, including 1 east and 2 west of 301. Commissioners Monday approved plats for 125 single-family lots in the first 2 phases of the giant Twisted Oaks project and for the 160-unit Tillman Villas. They heard the first reading of the proposed ordinances to allow an assisted living center north of the curve on County Road 462, which likely will be voted on later this month. I did a video of Twisted Oaks when me and Sue went out and were showing you guys some of the apartment buildings going on around here. It's a massive construction site. Twisted Oaks, west of the 301 Railroad Bridge and south of 462, will be one of Wildwood's largest residential projects, second only to the villages of Southern Oaks. Up to 1,210 homes are planned on about 400 acres, along with up to 165,000 square foot of commercial and industrial space. County Road 462 will be rerouted south, eliminating the 1-block jog across US 301, and a traffic circle is planned west of the highway. Plans call for 735 single-family homes, 248 townhomes, and 277 multifamily units. Tillman Villas, planned about a quarter mile south of County Road 462 along County Road 209, will share amenities with the adjacent Tillman Oaks subdivision, featuring a playground, 2 dog parks, and a recreation area. Tillman Oaks is expected to have 203 homes. Villas will be built as attached single-family housing in clusters of 4 and 6 units. Commissioners also heard the first reading of a comprehensive plan amendment and rezoning for an assisted living center north of the County Road 462 curve. The amendment would change the future land use to public facilities, and the rezoning would become institutional. The proposed project by Lean Nails LLC would authorize up to 4 units per acre on nearly 10 acres. A villager with a revoked New York driver's license was arrested after he was caught behind the wheel of his Mercedes. Frank Theodore Molina, 63, of the village of Osceola Hills, was driving a red 2021 Mercedes C43 at 4:46 p.m. Friday when he failed to move over for a law enforcement officer conducting a traffic stop on El Camino Real near Enrique Drive, according to an arrest report. After he was pulled over, Queens, New York, native admitted his New York driver's license had been revoked due to a driving under the influence conviction in his home state. The deputy confirmed that Molina's driver's license had been revoked in 2018. Molina was arrested on a charge of driving while license suspended. He was issued a traffic warning for the move-over violation. He was taken into custody and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. He was released after posting a $750 bond. Governor DeSantis signed into law today that this kind of thing is going to come to a stop with these $500 bonds, $150 bonds, especially if you don't have a driver's license or has never been issued a driver's license. If you don't know this story, Google it. You'll find it interesting. Here's an update on the kidnapping that we reported this week. A SWAT team moved in on a kidnapping suspect holed up Friday evening in a home in the Villages. James Savage was believed to be barricaded in a home on Belhaven Loop in the village of Chatham when the SWAT team from Marion County Sheriff's Office aggressively closed in on him. Crowds of neighbors who had been displaced from their homes were watching the standoff, which had continued for several hours. Negotiators repeatedly asked Savage to walk out of the home. They were communicating with him by phone and shouting to him. When he wouldn't budge, an armored vehicle moved in to smash the window. The Wildwood Police Department earlier in the day had issued a bulletin for Savage after he allegedly forced Marival Dunn into a Mercedes and drove away from the home in the Villages of Monarch Grove. They had been visiting another family. Wildwood Police Chief Randy Palmer said Dunn did not want to leave with Savage, and he grabbed her by the hair, pushed her to the ground, and struck her several times in the face. Savage forced her into the Mercedes and fled the area. Palmer and Savage and Dunn apparently had a long-time romantic relationship. The Mercedes was later found in the Marion County section of the Villages. It has been impounded. Dunn was also found by the Marion County Sheriff's deputies, and she is said to be safe. You know, I always have the question when I see something like that. There was a couple things in that video. I got a lot of emails from you guys. I appreciate it. I didn't get it either. So many things could have been done, and nothing was done. And what caused all that? Drinking? I don't know. A 71-year-old man has been arrested on a sex offense involving a 14-year-old girl at the Waterfront Inn in the Villages. The little girl's father contacted law enforcement on Tuesday to report the incident, which allegedly involved Ronald Everett Sapp of Plant City, according to an arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. The arrest report, which was heavily redacted due to the sensitive nature of the case, indicated the girl had been improperly touched. Sapp was located by the deputies at the Waterfront Inn. He was taken to the sheriff's annex for an interview. At the conclusion of the interview, he was arrested and charged with lewd and lascivious behavior. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $20,000 bond. Recent intimidation case prompts residents to reconsider providing names. Villagers appear to be growing increasingly wary of forcing residents to give their names and report deed compliance violations. Kim Ruppert, the self-described poster child for the downside of forcing residents to give their names, address, and phone numbers when making a complaint, has brought the debate to a heightened level. Last week, even a retired judge hired as a hearing officer for the district government in the Villages publicly sided with Ruppert and said the requirements that complaints give their names is pitting neighbor against neighbor. You know, I'm going to say it again. I find it ironic that people come here and they buy a home here, they invest in property here, they move in, and then right away they want to change things. It's always been anonymous complaints, and when you change that, you're going to change everything in your district. Everything. I like anonymous complaints. I just said, and I stand by what I said until somebody could convince me otherwise, you should at least prove that you live in the district that you want to make the complaint in. I am in District 10. I will never make a complaint in District 12 or 13 or 7 or 6. I don't live there. They'll take care of themselves. I've always said that. I think that's fair. In this day and age of anger and retaliation, even simple actions, the chilling effect of not allowing anonymous complaints to the CDDs renders the community standards nearly useless. As recent events have demonstrated, filing even a valid complaint opens up those reporting to intimidation and retaliation. As a result, folks will not be as likely to try to enforce the very standards that created the community that we bought into, said Villager L. John Keller II. He's exactly right. He said he fears the Villages will gradually degrade in appearance and quality of life. He hit the nail on the head. I've always said the reason why the supervisors and things are allowing this, it makes their job easier. In the past year, many community development districts have gone to a requirement that a name be given. Following the bold choice to do so by Community Development District 5, where supervisors largely remain pleased with the results, CDD5 supervisors continue to closely monitor data with regard to reports of violations. Make the data that you're monitoring public. I want to see them. I want to see exactly what you're looking at. Villager Dale Pitcher says bravo to the officials who made the choice to force complaints to give their name. I think they should have to give their names. This will stop a lot of ridiculous reporting. And I'll go along with that. There was a lot of ridiculous reporting. Here's what I don't understand about the anonymous complaint issue. Isn't there a middle ground? You would think so, wouldn't you? But in this political atmosphere we have in our country anymore, everybody's either right or you're dead ass wrong. And all these people over here on the right are saying everybody on the left is dead ass wrong. Everybody on the left is saying everybody on the right is dead ass wrong. And it's not true. Why couldn't someone file a complaint, be required to provide a name that is not shared beyond the reviewing body? If I call the police because of an issue with a neighbor, they don't tell the neighbor who called, only that someone did. And that's all they need to know, really. And by that, I'm saying if you give them your name and your phone numbers and all that kind of stuff, that's fine. If they don't tell the person you're complaining about, all they need that information for is to verify that you live in the district that you're complaining in. Villager Nancy Harvey advocates giving greater discretionary power to community standards. Ignore the nosy one. You can tell who is just being a problem because they have nothing else to do, she said. That's always the case, no matter what. By the way, any comments that I make about anything is just that, my comments. I don't speak for anybody but me. A Michigan man has been arrested for shoplifting at a Publix grocery store in the Villages. Douglas Lynn Frantham, 74, of Ann Arbor, Michigan, went to the store at La Plaza Grande this past Thursday and put merchandise into a reasonable shopping bag, according to the arrest report. The items included eggs, fruit, vegetables, whipped cream, and cereal, and totaled $54.38. Shoot, dude, that ain't that much. He got into a vehicle with Michigan license plates and left without paying for the merchandise. A manager at the store was able to snap a photo of the license plate. Frantham was also suspected of stealing items from the store in December. Frantham, who was staying at Recreation Plantation in Lady Lake, was tracked down by police and taken into custody on a charge of theft. He was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $500 bond. Real quick, Recreation Plantation is an RV resort. It's the closest one to the Villages, really. Literally, it's across the street from the Villages on either side of the 466. And then you got the Racetrack Road. Is that what it's called? Racetrack Road on the other side? Anyway, it's a very nice RV park. I've had friends of mine stay there. I've been over there many, many times. 2 recreation centers, I believe. A couple of swimming pools, tennis courts. I think they got a pickleball court there also. Probably bocce ball. I'm not sure everything they got there and everything they do there. But I do know Sue and I went over there to get on a bus trip once. Went to Tampa. They have a lot of activities in the wintertime. And so for an RV, it's a great place to go. The rates has went up since COVID. I don't know what they are now, but you can check it out. Recreation Plantation of Lady Lake. The annexation of 24 acres of pasture land will link the massive Hammock Oaks development from County Road 466 to Lake Ella. The Lady Lake Planning and Zoning Board has approved the annexation of 24 acres of pasture and a home located at 403 Lake Ella Road. Property is owned by 73-year-old David Caldale and his life estate. His wife Linda, a longtime teacher at Lake County, died in 2022. She loved raising horses on the property, according to her obituary. According to these pictures, they're not horses. The Caldwell property will be the site of 82 single-family homes, according to the information presented Monday night to the Planning and Zoning Board. 24 acres will provide a vital link in the Hammock Oaks development being put together by Coulter Land, a company known for high-end development. Hammock Oaks is set to include a Walmart in the far northern corner at County Road 466 and Cherry Lake Road, townhomes, market-rate homes, age-restricted homes, a community development district, and additional retail, including quite possibly a restaurant. That's all we need around here is another Walmart. Nearly 2,000 people will likely be living in the Hammock Oak development by the time it is built out. I heard that around the Villages for years. This is the build out. This is the build out. There'll be no more. This is it. It's a sales technique. Traffic remains a primary concern for those living near the massive new development, including villagers whose homes back up to Cherry Lake Road. Town leaders see the acquisition of the 24 acres as a positive for the flow of traffic. Yeah, they see a positive for the flow of tax dollars. We just did a little report about the notorious hoarder, and his mother is going to have to go to court and possibly jail time because he's the one that's tearing up her property and whatever. Well, here's an update on her son. A son who has become a notorious hoarder in the village has allegedly drained his mother's bank account to buy drugs. See, this shows you what kind of people these are. They're disgusting. Jeffrey Packard, 37, was arrested Monday at the home he shares with his mother in the village of Sunset Point. The home at 1889 Wildwood Loop is already infamous due to the ongoing battle over Packard's hoarding. Desperate neighbors are enraged, and Community Development District 5 supervisors are imposing $500 daily fines to try to bring the situation under control. Packard's mother called 911 early Monday morning to report her son's narcotics use, according to a rush report of Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Mom, only thing I got to say about that is, why did you wait so long? The first deputy on the scene saw many used hypodermic needles, multiple clear plastic baggies with white powder residue inside, and 2 broken clear glass pipes with burnt residue inside. Barbara Packard, who, with her late husband, bought the home in 2005, pointed the deputy to her son's desk, which led to the discovery of a treasure trove of drugs, including needles loaded with heroin. There were also bags which contained methamphetamine and marijuana. The deputy also found 37 12-gauge shotgun shells, which Jeffrey Packard is barred from possessing because he is a convicted felon. Barbara Packard, who has previously pled her son's case in public hearings before a CDD5 board, said her son withdraws money from her account on an ongoing basis. She said he deposits her money onto a Cash App card, which she cannot access. She said he ultimately used the card to buy illicit drugs, and she knew this and continued to let him have access to her bank account. Barbara Packard said her financial situation has grown so dire that she did not have a $10 copay for a doctor's visit because her son had spent all of her money for the month. She also said her son also disabled her phone, so the only number she can call is 911. Jeffrey Packard is facing multiple charges, including crimes against a person, drug possession, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. He was booked on $23,500 bond at the Sumter County Detention Center. Jeffrey Packard was arrested in 2014 on a charge of possession of cocaine. While he was still on probation in that case, he was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence when he was found at the wheel of a vehicle with a flat tire near Lake Sumter Landing. Barbara Packard is due to be called at 8 a.m. Friday before the Community Development District 5 Board of Supervisors at Seabreeze Recreation Center in connection with the ongoing deed compliance case at her home. I just don't get it. If she's known all this time that he's a druggie and he's taking money buying drugs, and I mean, how can you not smell marijuana being smoked in your house? You think mom's lying, just try to cover up for him? I say it all the time. Why are these people living in a retirement community? Well, how many holes in ones do you think we got this week at the villages? I think I see 3. Let's read them. A Village of Marsh Bend woman was thrilled to get her first hole-in-one. Karen Piotrowski scored the lucky ace on March 6th at hole number 1 at the Lowlands Executive Golf Course. Well, congratulations, Karen, on your hole-in-one. Rich Pirliani of the Village of Sanibel got a hole-in-one Saturday, March 9th at hole number 4 at the Tarpon Boyle Executive Golf Course. Well, congratulations, Rich, on your hole-in-one. Mike Hasty of the Village of St. James scored his 7th lifetime hole-in-one on Sunday, March the 10th, at the Della Vista Executive Golf Course. Well, congratulations on your hole-in-one, Mike. It's got to be a thrill. It just really gets me if these guys get 6, 7, 8 holes-in-ones, and there's guys that'll play for 30, 40, 50 years to get their first one. Some guys are just lucky. Craig Langro. Yesterday I putted a hole-in-one at Mickey Lee Pitch and Putt, my first ever. I don't know if this qualifies, but we had fun. Well, sure it qualifies. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Craig. Let's do a couple letters to the editor and see what people are talking about. To the editor, I saw this happen where I lived years ago, and it was quite obvious it could, I predicted will, happen again. Here's how it goes. Developer builds houses with sufficient golf courses, already done. Over a period of years, more houses are built with insufficient golf courses built. We are in this phase. Golf courses deteriorate to the point where few people use them. Developer sees this, raids the golf courses, and builds more houses on the now vacant land. People complain, but developer blames it on the people for not using the courses. Think it won't happen? The good thing is it will take a few years, and many of us will not be around to see it happen. Can it be prevented? Yes, it can. We know the problems and have come up with some good solutions, but a little more action and a lot less talking is needed. That's sent in by Clifford Burdo from the village of Caroline. Hey, that's my old village over there at Caroline. I like Caroline. Thank you, Clifford. To the editor, there are possibly a lot of reasons for the deplorable conditions of our golf courses. How many holes we have when there were 50,000 residents, and how many now when we are approaching 150,000 residents? I realize that it will probably reduce the profit when you dedicate multiple acres for a championship golf course as opposed to hundreds of houses at an average of 400,000 each. In the long run, it will hurt the sales if you cheapen a product you are promoting. Instant gratification now versus slumping values in the future. Let's hope the new regime doesn't kill the golden goose. That's sent in by Dick Jones from the village of Pennycamp. Well, Dick, you're right. I got nothing to say about that. You are absolutely right. But here's the difference that I see, if I can just throw this in there real quick. Back when Harold was around, it was about the people and retirement. His whole saying was to live like a millionaire on a Chevrolet budget. That's how it started. Then it was signs everywhere. Golf cart community. That's what it was. Golf cart community. And then Lake Sumter. When they built Lake Sumter, they started bringing in a lot of politicians. Fox News started showing up. They were networking. Then the build-out at 44, Brownwood. The build-out. I bought down here. I want to get a new home. This is where they were at. Then they crossed 44. That's when things changed. Grandkids were brought into the business. The kids are into the business. We're into the fourth generation, I think, maybe even pushing 5, running this place. And it's a corporation. Many companies are part of this corporation, and it's a big business. They're not building a retirement community anymore. They're building a large city that's supposed to be age restricted, and we all know it's not. What can be done about that? I'm not a lawyer. Things here are just not right, and it's going to be this way for a long time because, as the old saying goes, money talks and bullshit walks. That's going to be the news this week. Well, that's a line to leave the news on, ain't it? Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you ain't subscribed. You've heard me say it 100 times. Hit that button. Become a Patreon member. So with that being said, take care. Stay well. Be safe. I'll see you on the other side.
And don't leave your keys in the golf cart.